AAA is dead. Now you might be thinking, Wizard, aren't you a little overdramatic here? Well, all I know is 2023 was a great year for gaming. 2024, on the other hand, is looking kind of bleak, at least when we consider upcoming productions. But don't worry, dear gamers, there's hope. The first Steam Next Fest of 2024 just happened. The event featured over 1,500 games, and this vegan wizard went on a mighty quest to find 25 he deemed worthy of a closer look. So here are my personal highlights, presented to you bite-sized and easily digestible. If you want to see 3D platforming done right, look no further than Spring Dash. I might be a little biased as you play as a wizard going hella fast, cast spells and gain height, grapple, zap enemies, and wall run to the exit. In classic, easy to learn and hard to master fashion, Spring Dash is incredibly accessible with a skill ceiling as high as a skybox. I had an absolute blast figuring out the game's movement and abilities, making it one of my Next Fest highlights. Oh, yes! This feels so good! Next up is Breachway. In recent years, roguelike deck builders have risen in popularity, and the plethora of games out there makes it hard to find the real gems. Breachway has the potential to be one of those gems. If you've played Slay the Spire and/or Faster Than Light, you'll feel right at home. Assemble your crew, equip them with powerful weapons and gadgets, and make the best of the hand you've been dealt. Quite literally, this is a card game after all. On your way through multiple solar systems, you'll encounter random events and quite a few fights. The combat system offers enough variety to inform engaging tactical choices, such as managing multiple resources, shields, and it even features an overheating mechanic you have to keep track of. Finding synergies and combos should be great fun, and make for many hours exploring this strange galaxy. Happy the Hippo is one of the weirder picks on this list. It might be a diamond in the rough, but boy is it rough. According to the developer, Happy the Hippo is, quote, low-budget jank of early 2000s 3D platformers. All bugs, glitches, and movement exploits have been left in on purpose. Okay, so apparently it's not a bug, it's a feature of the video game. And listen, I love 3D platformers, and I'm used to a lot of jank, but Happy the Hippo might just be too much. Don't get me wrong, I'm convinced this will find its audience, maybe even a dedicated community of speedrunners, but in my opinion, it mostly works as a love letter to that particular era of platformers, and less as a fun video game that can be enjoyed casually. During my time with it, I was mostly frustrated by the controls, second-guessing myself and the game, thinking, wait a minute, this could just be a secret horror game like Hamster Chef. Alas, it was not. Dungeonborne. It's really nice to see Dark and Darker finally making it to Steam. If you understood that joke, you already know what Dungeonborne's all about. If not, imagine Escape from Tarkov, but it's dark fantasy. Still doesn't ring a bell? Well, here's the gist. Pick one of 7 standard fantasy classes, then get thrown into a dungeon, loot as much as you can, complete quests, make it out alive, sell stuff, upgrade your character, rinse and repeat. Oh, I forgot to tell you about those nasty monsters populating the place, other players who will gladly kill you and take all your loot, the Battle Royale Death Zone mechanic, limiting the available area over time, and last but not least, the dangerously rare exit portals. So, getting out alive isn't easy, but if you succeed, the rush of dopamine will make you want to do it all over again immediately. Congratulations! Now you're addicted to PvPvE extraction games. From what I can tell, Dungeonborne achieves all of this quite well, but I'll be honest with you, it's not my kind of game. Yet, if my description sounded appealing to you, grab some friends and get that loot. Come on, come on. No, no, yes, yes, go, go, go. Yes! Woo! Voxlands doesn't take itself seriously at all, which is great. Despite the world being all fantasy, the first items the game hands you are a gun and some ammo. Almost like an immersive sim, you can tackle quests at your own pace and try different approaches. For example, I solved the demo's questlines out of order, which led to some pretty hilarious results. The almost entirely destructible environment and the crafting system provide all the tools you need to wreak havoc. NPCs don't have much to say, but their quips and attitudes mostly hit the mark. Voxlands has a great foundation. In the end, it will all come down to quest and level design, but judging by the creativity on display here, this wizard is on a high dosage of hopium for Voxlands. Probably the most well-known game on this list, Pacific Drive puts a spin on the good old survival formula by adding a car into the mix. And not just any car, your car. You gotta take care of it.
Wax on, wax off.
If you want to have a chance to make it through the post-apocalyptic wilderness and uncover the mysteries within. Planning routes, scavenging for resources to stay alive, and upgrading your vehicle make for a rewarding gameplay loop already. Driving feels straightforward. Atmospheric quests and captivating story bits keep you going while driving. If Pacific Drive can keep up the pace and weave a solid plot, we might have a winner on our hands. To be perfectly honest, I've never seen anything quite like Cryptmaster. A strange blend between dungeon crawler and typing game. With the demo being quite short, it's hard to give a proper impression. I enjoyed my time spell casting while getting taunted by the titular and peculiar Cryptmaster for my sometimes erratic inputs. Incredibly intriguing project. I'll keep my eye on this one. Remember Spring Dash from the beginning of the video? Add guns, stir firmly, and you get Echo Point Nova. I'm a sucker for fast-paced movement first-person shooters, and this one goes hard. With Severed Steel, developer Greylock Studio already have a genre juggernaut on their hands, which makes me feel quite optimistic for Echo Point Nova. The demo leaned into arena fights kinda heavily. I enjoyed the traversal between the occasional combat a lot more. Outcast, a new beginning.
Remember,
Outcast.
he's back.
Not so POC form. The 1999 original is still revered for its cutting-edge voxel-based engine, which made a huge and vibrant open world possible. 25 years later, we're getting that legacy reboot, and nothing can go wrong with these, right? A New Beginnings demo felt very disjointed and more like a vertical slice of various gameplay elements, and those would be pretty decent in 2003. If this is supposed to be at least somewhat representative of the current state of the game, consider me worried. Dishonorable mention the jarring NPC facial animations and voice acting, but the worst part about all of this is the traversal, combat, exploring. It all just feels generally unexciting. As of the writing of this script, a New Beginnings release is less than a month away, which makes me more than just slightly concerned. Maybe hold out on those pre-orders and wait for the reviews, even if you associate the Outcast brand with that feel-good nostalgia. Before we get to my favorite Next Fest game, just one thing. If you're enjoying this kind of content, please like this video and consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you! And here it is, the absolute highlight, the one and only Balatro! As I'm writing this, Balatro just fully released on Steam to overwhelmingly positive reviews. Deservedly so! As I've mentioned before, it's hard to stand out within Steam's sea of roguelike deck builders, but this one sure does. Twisting and turning the mechanics of good old poker into gamified crack cocaine. This video is days or weeks late because I can't stop playing. In each level of Balatro, you have to face the small blind, the big blind, and a boss fight. Well, you don't have to beat them exactly, just their ever-increasing high scores, and beware of the boss's abilities. And to accomplish that, you find the best build to maximize points and multipliers for each hand you play. Between games, you can improve your deck by adding cards, and not just poker cards, but oddities like jokers and tarot cards. Possibilities are endless, and the trippy expressive pixel art style is just the icing on top.
Alrighty then.
Did I miss any exciting demos or upcoming indies that would fit this list? Just tell me in the comments below. Oh, and maybe follow me on Twitch to join the insanity live. Find all the info you need about the games and the wizard, that's me, down in the description. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end, and now go and play some video games.